I hope that I am sharing some out-of-the-box inspiring recipes with you in this video, starting with some roasted cauliflower. Now, the sheet pan meal itself is just kind of the idea, the inspiration, but you can add it to anything that you'd like. I did, however, forget to film the clip of me putting the mustard and the hot sauce together, but I'll leave the kind of like the increments that I used for this recipe in the description box below. But you're just gonna mix it up with your fingers, throw it in the oven, and bake it at 450 degrees for about 25 to 30 minutes. If your oven doesn't bake as hot as mine, it'll be a little less time or a little bit more time, but my oven bakes hot, so this was done really, really fast. And then what you can do is you can throw this over rice, you can put it on pizza, you can put it with pasta, you can build a mock, like, hot Nashville chicken sandwich, if you will. That's kind of what we did. We did like a mock Nashville sandwich, and we put it in a wrap with some pickles and a little extra hot sauce, and it was so good. Roasted cauliflower with hot sauce is the best. This second meal I feel like is a little bit more traditional of a plant-based sheet pan meal, but I did go ahead and use some more flour tortillas. You can use corn tortillas, you could use rice, you could use anything you wanted, but we're going to do a burrito. So I'm going to take the garbanzo beans, drain and rinse them, chop my pepper and my onion. I do also have this seasoning. It's a carne asada by Lawry's. You can use any kind of seasonings you like. I did link this once in a video below, but on Amazon it's really expensive. So look for it at your local grocery store. So you're just going to chop your vegetables, put them on your sheet pan. I don't even spray it or add anything, cooking spray or anything to my sheet pan, because there's so much liquid in the vegetables, it doesn't stick. Put it in the oven at 450 degrees. This only bakes for me for about 15 to 18 minutes. And you're gonna put a bunch of seasoning on it, pull it out, and then you're gonna put it in your wraps. But also, I went one step further and decided to make a homemade guacamole, which I'll also share with you. And I'll leave the recipe for that down in the description box. I personally don't eat a lot of avocado because I think I have a slight allergy to it, but my husband loves avocado, so I thought I would amp it up a little bit and share with you how I was going to make that to create this burrito. I thought I'd just share real quickly the guacamole. I was going to put the salsa in it, but I realized we only had about a half a jar, and this salsa is so good. It's a mango habanero. It is amazing. We get it every time we're at the grocery store when we're out. So if you don't like to use these tortillas, you could always do homemade as well, or you could do corn, or you can find oil-free. My husband really likes these, so I keep picking them up. Plus, they were actually free on like a BOGO that was going on at our grocery store last week, and I think avocados are the most beautiful thing, even though I don't eat them. And all I added is some lime juice and a little bit of pink salt, and I just kind of mashed that up. But it's definitely delicious if you can do avocado. And then here's my sheet pan when it's done. I feel like this is a really simple, like, I don't want to cook but I need to cook kind of meal. And then I'm sharing with you here is 2 different ways that you could have this meal. You could do it with some lettuce, or you could do it in the wraps, or you could do both. If you want to just amp up your meal a little bit, have a little extra greens, you could do a his and her portion, or you could just do like me. This was a my portion. I had a couple tortillas and I also had a salad, and then my husband had the exact same thing, and it was very filling, very nutritious, and it was amazing. The last recipe here, I really just want to share with you something completely different. For some reason, on every single video that I put out, people ask me for low carb meal ideas. And I understand that everyone eats differently, but I don't eat low carb. Like, if you look at any of my videos, you clearly see that I eat high carb, low fat. I don't eat low carb because it wouldn't be very satisfying. But I thought, okay, I'm gonna appeal to the mass amount of comments that I get every single week of people asking for low carb meals. And I'm gonna give you an idea but I didn't eat this low carb. So I'm taking a can of tomatoes, I'm gonna whip them in a food processor with a little bit of salt and a couple tablespoons of Italian seasoning because that's what I had on hand, and I'm gonna make a homemade marinara. This was so good. I honestly can see myself just making this every single week when we have pasta. Oh, I also added about a 1/4 cup of nutritional yeast to kind of make it cheesy. So good. Definitely make that at home and let me know what you think. Again, I didn't spray my pan or anything. I just poured that into the bottom, and then I chopped up my zucchini and layered it in there, and then I pre-cooked my squash for about 3 minutes, sliced it in half, took out the seeds, and then popped it in the oven. So that way it only took about 20 minutes total, because sometimes that spaghetti squash can take a long time in the oven. And if you want to eat it quickly on a weeknight, you want to speed things up. So that's why I popped it in the microwave. But anyways, if you were someone who wanted to do low carb, you could do this as your meal. You could take the onions, the zucchini, the sauce, and the squash and have a whole meal of it. However, since I eat high carb, that wouldn't be very filling to me. So I actually made pasta to put with this. So when this came out, it had to cool anyways because it was very, very hot. So I put some boiling water on the stovetop and some pasta, and then this was a really good way to add extra vegetables to our pasta. Plus, it was kind of like one of those meals that I didn't have to really think about. I just kind of chopped everything, put it in a pan, threw it in the oven, made some pasta, and it was very simple, very easy, perfect for a Thursday night, because for whatever reason, Thursday nights, I just don't want to cook. My Thursdays are like my Mondays. Well, relatively like everyone's Mondays, where you're just like, I don't want to cook, I don't want to do anything. That's my Thursdays. I feel like I'm ready for the weekend and I just want to not make dinner. So this was a really good dinner to make. If you try any of these recipes, I hope you tag me over on Instagram at Miranda Running on Plants. Let me know what you think. I love when you guys tag me and share with me that you've made something that I've shared. It just makes me so happy. But definitely, if you are a low carb person, you could do this as a low carb meal, or maybe you're just looking for like a lighter fare when it comes to a meal. Maybe you've had like a heavier lunch and you're like, you know what, I'm not super hungry for dinner, I want something light. This would be a good fill-in. I hope you really like this video and enjoy the rest of it.